Hey everyone. All right, well, here we are back in the garage. So the John Deere 826 with the Tecumseh 8 horsepower engine I got for that $100 steel was a good deal, except that today after firing it up, I heard a nice loud clank and then some silence. So basically the engine blew up. So what we're gonna have to do is take this off. We're gonna repower it, because this thing is a good machine, and I still want to, make a good project out of it. So we're going to start by taking this thing apart and see what we've got as far as what the shaft size on the engine was and all that, and we'll see what we have to do to replace it. All right, one of the first things we're going to do is take off the electric start, and looks like we're going to need a screwdriver and some square bits. So let me get that going. Okay, got an impact here. Oh, look at that. I don't think that's the stock screw. Definitely not. Okay, so we got a couple of screws under here. Let's see. Before we get that completely out, loosen the next one. So yeah, I had used this thing a little bit the other day, and it was awesome. I mean, this thing cleared a path 26 inches wide and a foot deep of snow. Didn't even think twice about getting that done. It just barreled right through. Today, was playing with it just for a minute, and bluey. Didn't just blew up. All right, there's our electric start. That looks like it's in real good shape. The gear teeth look, well, there's just a little bit of wear on those teeth, but definitely not bad. So we'll put this to the side for later. All right, well, there's the hole in the side of the engine. That is why it stopped running. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, I think the next thing we'll do, we're gonna take this gas tank off. I pretty much filled it up right before it went kablooey. So for now, I'm going to leave the gas shut off on it. I'll turn it to off. And we're going to, some needle nose pliers here. Pry that off. There we go. It's not so hard. Okay. And let's see, up top here, got a couple of screws. Take those out. Small bolts, really. Let's see, we'll put that in there. And is there another one on the bottom? I didn't even look. Oh, it's on a little hanger. Neato. All right. And there's the gas tank. Let's take this cover off and see what's under there. We're losing some bolts left and right. Literally, left and right. That's okay. We'll get those later. And that's easy enough. That just pulls right off. So sweet, we'll put that to the side. The guy I bought it from said the bolts were pretty recent, and honestly they look pretty darn good. So that's not going to be a problem. We're just going to put these in, so they don't get lost. Okay. Alright, just so we don't have a problem later, I'm going to drain the oil out of this thing. There's no reason to keep it in there anyway. So, let's see if we loosen that up. I think what I want to do is steal this little drain tube anyway for the next motor, so I can drain it off from the machine, away from the machine with the next motor. I'm gonna loosen up the dipstick so it drains a little better. And there you go. You know, that oil, it's funny, that oil was fresh literally yesterday. When I got this thing home, I drained all the oil out of it and put fresh oil in it. And it looks filthy. So my guess is that this engine was not nearly taken care of as well as I hoped it had been. But that's okay, it is what it is. For $100, this thing is still worth it, and getting a new motor for it and putting one on, you know, whether I go with a 6.5 or another 8, you know, we'll see, but it's still going to be a great snowblower. All right, well, while that oil is draining, let's take off a few more bolts here. Now, might need a little more than that thing can provide. Oh, you know, honestly, look at that. The spark plug is actually loose too. That's crazy. How wild. It actually was running great, but the spark plug was loose. I'm gonna take these mounting bolts off, and it's funny, I just went in the house for a second there, and my wife says, "What are you doing?" "Playing with my toys." That's exactly what I am doing. Let's try the other side. Oh, that one's coming off. Okay. So the bolts on the bolt heads are probably underneath are spinning loose, but this side's coming off. Nice. After that oil drains out. I just don't want to drain the oil later. I figure it'll be easier to drain it out now while it's mounted versus just when it's on the ground, you know. Get it. Pretty much, man, none of this stuff, I'll tell you, none of this stuff really looks, the hardware anyway, looks original to me. Well, very little of it anyway. Let's try to get these belts off. Sorry about that noise. That's just my little stool I'm using as a tripod holder. So this belt, well, that just comes right off. That's a piece of cake. This one has, I see, a tensioner. I'm gonna pull that off there. I think we're gonna have to loosen that just to give us a little more wiggle room. But maybe not. Maybe not. Well, yeah, we will. All right, so what we might do is actually wait to get that off until we loosen the whole engine and just tilt it up, and that'll work itself right off. Piece of cake that way. So looks like the oil is about drained here. Let me put that cap back on. We're just gonna, like I said, this is just so that later I don't have to drain it. It'll be easier to drain now. Just use a little good old-fashioned Harbor Freight crescent wrench. This is okay. There we go. Draining the oil out of this pan, and boy, I'll tell you, it looks like I struck gold. There's all the glitter in there. It's crazy. But, you know, that's to be expected with what just happened, right? Alright, let's disconnect the linkage to the carburetor. And honestly, I'm not sure if I'll even bother with linkage on the new engine. I might just use the throttle control on the motor. I mean, with a snowblower, you're pretty much just at full throttle anyway. Well, you know, you don't want to mess around much with lower speeds, I don't think. So you either need the power or you don't. Yep. All right, it looks like we've got another one on this side. There you go. Let's see if this thing pulls off now. Yeah, that's a little better. All right, let's get this carburetor off. Start with the muffler. That screw will come right out. There's the muffler. Well, if I was ever wondering why this thing was so loud, I mean, there's the muffler and it literally. Alright, so let's see, let's get this carburetor off. Looks like these two bolts, which you look at this. It's a regular bolt head someone ground some slots into. Holy cow. And they got it done. And you know what? I can almost see myself doing that too. Take this little Z-bend out. There we go. There's the carburetor. And this thing still ran good. I got, tuned it up a little bit, and then in literally 10 minutes I had it tuned up and running great until it blew up. Let's take these bolts off for this cover in the back. Okay, just a washer and a star washer. And those we'll be keeping for sure. Well, you know what? I'm going to be replacing all of that stuff soon. Okay. I had this cover off. So let's see. We're going to need a flashlight up in there. Yep. There's the bolts holding on the engine. Alright, let's see if we can get some light on this subject where you can actually see what's going on. I don't know if you can or not. Let's see. Well, hopefully. Okay, so there's a bolt up there. The other one down just a little bit below it. Another one over there. One over there. And those are going to be the bolts we're getting out of here. So what we're doing is putting the box wrench on the nut over here. We're going in from the underside with a extension. Sorry about this, guys. On the extension on my impact. And that engine is about to fall off the Snowblower. Let's see if we can not make that happen. Ready for some fun? You guys are going to laugh at this because it's probably going to just crash over. I got to put you down because I need two hands. Okay, we're good. Now, there it goes. Remember we talked about those belts, so we tilt it, boom, there she blows. All right, it's really not that heavy, I'm just old and weak. Okay guys, nice. Sorry about the light in your eyes, I'm sure that didn't help. But that's how an engine comes off of a John Deere 826, and this one is a P826H 100428M, which I've been told through the Snowblower forum that it's from 1979. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That engine had a good life. Probably moved quite a bit of snow. All right, lastly, we're gonna try to take off this crankshaft pulley, and it looks like it might be a little bit rusted on. We'll find out in a moment. We went and got ourselves a 3/16 Allen key. See if we can't knock that loose. That was easy. Thank goodness. Now. Oh, it's coming up. Just a little bit anyway. Oh yeah, it's moving. That's awesome. Oh, there she is. Okay. So now, last question of the day is, what's the size of that shaft? What's the size of the shaft? That shaft size is 3/4 of an inch. No doubt about that. That's the removal. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something on this, and leave me a comment. What motor do you think I should put on this thing? It's 26 inches wide, had an 8 horse. I'd like to still have an electric start. Now, Harbor Freight has some motors, they're Predator motors, that are supposedly pretty good. Putting an electric start on it may not be quite as simple as just bolting what I already have on. Should I buy another used Tecumseh from someone cheap? I saw one for about $100 a couple towns over. Maybe I should do that. Then I can just take that electric start that I've already got, probably just bolt it right on. Or do I go with an 8 horsepower Predator from Harbor Freight? I think it's $300. Or do I go for just the 6.5 horse from Harbor Freight? And that one is $159, so it's half the price of the 8 horsepower. The question is it really enough power? Is that all I need? You know, is a new 6.5 horse motor gonna be, you know, better than this 8, which did what I needed to do? Let me show you here. So it's getting dark out there, but let me maybe walk out here. I don't know if you can see, but I mean, this thing did this yesterday. Didn't even slow down. Now I had it in the slowest gear, okay? I wasn't just going through at speed 6, but this is 10 to 12 inches, 14 in spots, I'd say, maybe even more than that. You know, that one hill over there. And I mean, it knocked this stuff out, made me a path without even slowing down. So what motor should I put in there? Leave me a comment. I've got got some time, so maybe I can get some good advice from you guys. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.